I am coming back to Vermont tomorrow.
Are we recording?
I would say that John will not be at town meeting, just so that.
We're on whenever you're ready.
All right, it's now 6 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to welcome any and all visitors. Welcome any public comment. And it's unrelated to any of our current agenda items. None being seen, Scott, I'll go to you for possible changes to the agenda.
The change that I have is under other business. We're going to ask the fire department to give you an update on a grant that they just received for a new boat.
Jeez, huh? All right. So with that in mind, we're going to approve the minutes of February 4th, 2025.
So you have two sets of minutes, if you will remember. One is the pre-town meeting informational. Everyone was here for that. And the second one would be your regular meeting minutes.
So you want that done separately, do you?
You don't have to.
We can do it all in one, correct?
If
I
you
make a
would like.
motion, we approve both the minutes from February 4th, the pre-town meeting and the regular select board.
And the regular board meeting, okay. All right, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, motion and a second to approve the February 4th pre-town meeting minutes as well as the standard meeting minutes. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Scott?
Under action items, we have the select board to possibly approve the town road and bridge standards and approve the certificate of compliance for town road and bridge standards. That can be all in one motion. You received the information in your packet, and basically you're certifying that you reviewed, understand, and comply with the town road and bridge standards, and so on and so forth. We do have standards that were enacted in August 20th, 2019. This is housekeeping.
Something we do every year. All right, somebody like to make a motion?
Move to approve the town road and bridge standards and the certificate of compliance for town road and bridge standards.
Okay, all right. We have a motion second to approve the town road and bridge standards and also approve the certificate of compliance for the town road and bridge standards. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Who seconded that motion?
Tony?
Thank you.
Next is the 1% local option tax request. The select board to possibly approve a 1% request from the chamber for the 2025 fireworks in the amount of $15,000. And Bethany Leclerc is with us.
Thank you. So this year we're asking for 15.
You have to move the microphone in your direction or you take out the chairs.
I didn't realize. How's that? This year we're asking for $15,000. The fireworks are on July 2nd. It's a Wednesday. Wasn't our first pick for a date. However, having July 4th fall on a Friday made it a little more difficult for us to find a date that would work with the company that we've been using. It was either the Sunday before or the Sunday after, so we compromised with this. Our rain date is July 6th. We do still expect a pretty solid turnout. I think having it on Wednesday, hopefully people will come in Wednesday and spend the rest of the week into the weekend in town. We've seen a solid 2,000 plus people come every year. I think it's really a nice combination of a community event and an event that draws in some visitors from around the area. The White House will be doing their event on the same day as they have in the past. So everything's pretty much the same. We're doing $14,000 for the fireworks, the extras to cover the cost of the police, helping with traffic control, the porta potties, and just some of the other expenses, a portion of which is also covered by the town of Dover and sponsors.
Anybody have any questions?
Yes.
Go right ahead.
How much are you asking for from the town of Dover?
$6,750.
$6,750. So just to get my math straight, we're collecting about $10 a person for the privilege of watching the fireworks. Is that basically what we're doing?
We don't charge anything.
Right. But that's the funding. That's
Yes.
how much money we're talking, $10 a person to entertain it. Thank you. Just wanted to clarify that. A lot of cake.
You need to make a note of that either. All right,
Fast math.
if there's no other discussion, I realize the fireworks definitely have escalated money wise. I mean, it's
Yes.
always, it had never been cheap.
They
All right,
have.
would somebody like to make a motion? Or would you like me to make a motion? Go for it.
I make a motion, we approve the expenditure of $15,000 for the local option tax to promote the fireworks.
For the Chamber of Commerce, Chamber of Commerce.
This year.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor, say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Aye. You're gonna abstain, right, Charlie?
Yep, I'm saying,
Thank you, Bethany.
Thank you, Bethany.
Thank you for
Good
your
luck.
support. Thank you.
It's on Wednesday. I might be
Might as
able
well
to
leave
go
that
this
on.
year.
We don't have a smart-
can I say one thing? Do you have to run to Dover now?
I can wait a few minutes. I'm on the agenda for 7:20.
7:20, okay, perfect. Okay. She has the permits for the. I have to recuse. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. The town policy, under town policies, the select board to approve the updated delinquent tax policy and approve the delinquent utilities policy and rescind the 2007 delinquent sewer policy. And Christine is here to walk us through that. No.
So there were some changes last year at the state level in regards to tax sales and how you collect, when you collect. And because of that, it seemed like an appropriate time to go back and revisit our delinquent tax policy. And what you have there in your possession is an updated policy. We used to basically do tax sales after 2 delinquent payments. The new statute says that they have to be 1 year delinquent, which I understand to be 12 months. So the policy was updated for that. And then the utility policy, we recently combined the water and the sewer billing into one bill, rather than having 2 separate bills that were mailed out multiple times throughout the year. So we thought it was also a good time to update what used to be a delinquent sewer policy and make it a utility policy instead, which now includes what we do for water, which is water shutoffs. And if somebody is on sewer and water, then they can actually do a water shutoff if they're delinquent on either bill. And then we have, of course, some sewer people who are not on water, so the tax, basically the tax sale policy would still fall there for anybody who doesn't pay their bill in the same way that they don't pay their taxes. And then we also have some, in case you've never noticed, vacant buildings in town that water gets shut off or is shut off. And the utility policy will allow us to take those to tax sale if they don't pay their bills. So I don't know if you have any questions.
Anyone have any questions? All right, so would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the delinquent utility policy as presented.
And you could do them both at the same time. So it's
Right.
I'm sorry, delinquent tax policy, the delinquent utilities policy, and rescind the 2007 delinquent sewer policy.
He said it perfectly. We have a second on that?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Christine. Under the heading of Route 9 construction updates, Gretchen Haverluck is here to give us an update on the East Main Street and Route 9 construction projects.
Good evening.
You know, the first thing I was looking for is the screen, no screen.
I
So,
know.
thank you.
You like
Thank
that?
I
No
do.
PowerPoint?
I love that.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to run through this for you a little bit. So we're gonna start with the Route 9 infrastructure project first. we have a financing update. So the total project cost, right now, updated cost is $5,084,400. We have in hand, between bonds, grants, and other funding, $5,240,494. So we have a little bit of cushion, which is really good, especially for a project of this size. In that total project cost, there is contingencies that, if I remember right, I think we did a 15% contingency. So even having that little bit extra is really good for this large project. We will be submitting a USDA application in April. This USDA application, if we are awarded, would be in lieu of bonding. So, which would be great to be able to do that, because we would get a better interest rate. And we would also possibly get some forgiveness on the project. So update on permitting for the project. So there's no Act 250 for this project. We need wastewater and drinking water, and those are both in process. And we have stormwater. We have kind of wetlands, but they have to come out and do an ARA phase 1. But they cannot do that until spring.
Archaeological review. I believe it is.
Yes, yeah, resource something. And then the last permit we need is a V-Trans 1111. That's to work in the roadway. And usually those don't take very long, so we don't need to do that right away. We are hoping for a timeline to start construction in the fall of 2025 and hopefully conclude this project in 2026. Our challenges are, of course, getting the USDA application, getting through the ARA phase 1, and of course, easements, which we've started working on. We have those in hand. Well, we have the actual easement, they got to get to the property owner to get notarized and signed and recorded. Any questions on the Route
So
9?
all the right of ways, all that is taken care of at this point.
No, they have not. The property owners have not signed. They have been created, the easements.
When do you anticipate them signing?
Shortly. We just got approval last week that they are good through the engineer. We don't have to work with the state on these with these easements, which is a good thing because they go back and forth.
Right.
So yeah.
So we don't get a signed agreement for an easement. What do we do with that?
We can take it by eminent domain.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm at the point now, this project has been on the stove for so long, and it's time we really move it forward.
I personally do not think we are going to have a problem.
Okay.
And I probably should not be saying that out loud.
I'm
In a
just-
public meeting that's
I'm
being
just saying,
recorded.
You just shafted. That's-
I know.
I-
You can blame it all on me.
I thought about that, but there may not be a time so with that. Every time a piece of property changes, there's something else.
So the key piece here is the majority of the property owners out there have not changed, and they all want it.
They do.
So, yeah, they're all waiting for it.
Oh,
So,
good.
I do not see a problem.
All right.
So, I'm hopeful. Any other questions on the Route 9 infrastructure? Moving on to the East Main Street Sidewalk and Sewer Line Project. Everybody's familiar with this project in the sewer. Charlie, you are. Okay,
Yep.
great. So we should hear on the additional grant funding because the escalated cost is quite large now, with a total estimated cost of $836,755. And so I applied for a grant, and we should be hearing back at the end of March on that grant, which was for an additional $266,000. If we are not awarded, I believe we just need to scale back the scope of the project. So we would eliminate a portion. And most likely it would be down at the other end of the project near the bridge by the biking. So.
Is this state or federal money, Gretchen? The grant, additional grant, I should say.
The additional grant, so it is federal.
Okay.
Let's see, so timeline. So the easements have been reviewed, and now we have the certificate of authorization for the easements through the attorney. And now they're going back to the state with the final plans, and then they have to put their mark on them. So let's hope that takes a very short period of time. I've asked if they would put a rush on this, and we shall see.
So Gretchen minimizes the complexity of this whole process that I hope everybody appreciates, because when everything has been agreed to between attorneys, it is now going to a different body of people to review, just so you understand that.
A lot of hand holding.
Yes, many. And so the other complicated piece is getting these lines moved off of the poles. So it's working with those vendors, which is Cliff Duncan, CCI, and First Light, to get those lines moved to the new poles and the new poles taken out in order for construction to start.
What is the hold up on that anyway?
It's the vendors.
Which one's next in line?
Didn't I see somebody there last week?
I thought I did too, a couple weeks ago. I
No,
think
maybe it was 2 weeks
I
ago.
did, yeah. So who's responsible? Is that what you're asking?
No,
Vince?
who's next in line to get work done on that pole?
It's Cliff Duncan that needs to,
Move this stuff first.
yeah,
Can't go
'Cause it
around
could
him
get-
to move anybody else.
you really can't. Because the way that they're laid out.
Right.
So it's easier just to take them and put them up. So. And the other part of this project, I don't know if you guys all recall, but back in, I don't know when, you guys allocated $17,000 of 1% funding for the sewer portion for the property owners. So that if they couldn't afford to do their connection, they can apply for this loan. And so we have that paperwork in hand, and so that's ready to go.
Do we want to approve that?
May I ask a question about this?
Sure.
And I think I asked this question
It's
last
a
time,
lot.
so I apologize.
No, it's okay.
Do we wanna
If
approve it now, so we-
Somebody doesn't want to hook up, do they have the option not to, or do they have to hook up?
No, they have to, like, they have to go to the new line.
Okay.
They have to go to the new line. And there is some responsibility, money wise to them. And that's why we're making this grant available to them.
Loan.
I'm sorry, loan that would be paid at, month.
Repaid.
Yeah.
Do you have an idea on how many people are going for it?
I think there might be one or two,
That's all?
but that's all I say. Yeah. I don't see.
Even after all the problems they've had with that one, with the
Yeah,
one
so
line?
remember that the sewer project is only going from Lori Boyd's to the funeral home. But it does go across the street to connect the main line. That whole thing is gonna be replaced,
Okay.
so. Does that make sense? So,
We eagerly await the start.
I know. So I'm hoping that we will be in construction sometime this summer with that. Any other questions on East Main?
Thank you for all your hard work on it.
Thanks. I'm just gonna give you a really quick hoot toot and whistle. You guys want that? Or not really?
That's what.
Depends on where we're going with it, I guess.
Called money, money, money. So we have $327,700. We had to do an amended agreement with Vorak because of the increased cost of from our permitting of what we have to do. And it's unfortunate that the engineer did not understand Vermont law and the requirements, or I think they would have put that in as part of the project. So we had to cut a lot out. So we had to do a whole new amendment because it's very, very specific. And again, this is federal money as well. So we did apply for another grant, and that was for $62,504, bringing the total project cost to $390,204. And I'm hoping to hear by mid to late March on that grant. But we will be moving forward with the Vorak, with Saladino. We'll be putting that contract together now.
We just signed for the amended
Yeah.
part.
So now we can do the agreement with Saladino. Any questions?
Did you say something had to be cut out?
Yeah, we had to cut some of the project. And so that's why we applied for the recreational trails program grant to be able to finish up that project.
Okay, what was cut out?
It was signage. It was the trail path from the parking area. But like I said, this was all included in the grant that we applied for.
Okay,
Um,
so it may come back.
Yeah, I mean, we have a good chance of getting it because of course they want to see it completed as well as it was
Okay.
originally put together. So I'm hoping that we're successful in that grant.
Thank you.
Thank you for your persistence. I have to give you all the credit.
Thank you, Tom.
I would have quit a long time ago.
Only
No,
because of you.
Gretchen, you've done a wonderful job.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gretchen.
I can't imagine paying for that. That's gotta be hell.
Hey, folks, we're going to move that we go into the liquor commission. Yeah. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Charlie, we have one hit at the end. I do believe that says Foster LLC, so I'm not
Yep.
sure we're going to be.
Do I
can be
recruit from the
included
whole
on that.
commission or just from the?
Well,
actually have
I
two in
think what
there?
we'll do is we're going to do all of them at the same time with one motion, except yours. We'll do that.
I actually have two in there, so
What's the other one?
We can do,
the
we can do two
permits.
motions,
chili permits.
open container.
The chili stroll.
Yeah, so Charlie's catering the chili stroll. That's why I lumped them together. So if he was gonna abstain, you could
Or we could have him stand for the whole thing.
He's
just give
he's
him all the-
recusing from the,
Right.
Okay, all right, so what we'll do is, right, obviously, I'm just assuming that the chief of police has looked at all of these renewals and has no problem.
yes,
So we have, I'll read it off, Scott, if you want.
you go right ahead.
A first and third class and outside consumption renewal for the Wilmington Village Pub. Outside renewal, what's that for? Out on the deck?
That's their outside deck, yep.
First and third class outside consumption renewal for L&W Hospitality doing business as the Nutmeg Inn. A second class renewal for Bear Claw Holdings LLC doing business as the River Valley Market.
No, stop there,
What?
stop there because the
Well, thank
next,
you, thank you.
because the next two are Ted Foster.
Right, so on that, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, second part of this. The chili stroll on March 28, 2025, from 4 to 7 p.m. at Memorial Hall. Pickrell's Barn, the Village Roost, Bartleby Books, Vermont House, Jim McGrath's Art Gallery, and Ratu's, catered by W.I. Foster LLC. All right, second part is a first and third class and outside consumption renewal for W.I. Foster LLC. All right. Anybody would like to make a second on that?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 All right.
I
And is it-
recuse,
Charlie
abstain.
abstains.
Yep.
And, yeah, and you have Charlie as a recusal. Yes.
All right. Scott?
Under other business, would you like to assign town meeting articles to select board members who will be at the town meeting?
Don't everybody jump at once, okay?
Tom, I believe you'd be opening the meeting and doing Article 1.
I'm going to do that, correct. I didn't see anybody jump on that one either, so.
Can I ask a question? Because from the first time as a select board member on the town meeting,
Yeah,
you're essentially just reading it, or?
no.
You know, the
No.
moderator will do all that, and you
Okay.
just.
Well, you're going to be responsible
your motion.
for questions concerning that particular article. That's what we do. All right, so let me just look at this very quickly.
And we usually get the support of the department head.
Yeah, the department head's going to all be
Closely
there also.
impacted to each question, article. rather.
Article
That's
1 is going to be very
Scott's
quick, and we're going to obviously vote to appoint a moderator for 2025, and it's going to be Bob Fisher. All right, just because he moved out of town, but we have to do that to make it official. All right, and so he will then start it. Obviously, the cannabis thing, which there's a letter going into the Valley News on that to clarify it, I guess. So let's put it this way, vote time.
You go to Article 4 then.
Article 4 and Article 5 are the ones involving the budget. I will take the both, okay?
4 and 5, you're taking?
I love that, okay? Okay, all right. Now, from that point forward, as you can see, most of them are requests for the capital funds. The mover fund, second one, would you like to take the mover? Or do you find that a conflict of interest?
I don't-
Remember, if a
That's a good
complaint is
question,
filed, if a
actually.
complaint is filed about a conflict, I have to handle that too, so maybe we don't want you.
I'll take them over.
Okay, go
There
ahead,
you
I
go.
will take the move.
I can do $4,000.
Okay, all right, of course, then we have the reappraisal, which that's every year, all right? That's the state allocation that they give to us.
Yep.
Because we're so nice. The highway funds, the bridge capital fund, these were all very standard.
I'll take
Okay.
whichever ones you want me to do. I'm happy to do it.
I'm sorry, say that again, Tim.
I'll take whichever ones you'd like me to
Okay, all right.
take.
How about, we don't want to dump it on Charlie only because we
Yeah.
want him to get a gist of what's going on. We take,
Article 7, who would you like?
Article 7. All right, Vince, why don't you take 7 through 11? How's that? Okay. Tony, how about 12? 12 through 15?
Okay.
Okay. One. Go for 15, all right.
Let me take 16.
Yeah, 16, if you would do that one
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And 17, how about
All right.
17 is 5,000. All right, 18, 80,000 to fund the public. Okay, I'll do 18, all right?
Yeah.
19, Joe Bogus authorized payment of real property. Yeah, that's standard, 19, Mike.
Yeah.
Vince, you want to take that?
Sure.
All right, so 20, I'll take 20, okay?
Okay.
Vince was
Who's
19.
doing 2 and 3? You got,
Two
No,
and
Bob-
three is actually.
Bob takes care of that.
Bob takes.
Or the moderator will take care of that, sorry.
Yeah, 1.
Who was doing number 18?
Tom,
Okay, and 19 is just,
Vince,
okay,
and then Tom.
okay. Thank you.
21. That's gonna be Bob.
Yeah.
The non-binding thing, I. Respond to that.
Under other business, the fire department is here. Chief and assistant chief are here to
Gentlemen,
talk
could you come up,
about a
please?
boat.
Have you tested the boat this week? No? Yeah. Drive?
Doesn't have ice skates on it? No, what kind of boat is that?
So, as you know, we've been trying to get a boat.
Have you really?
Yeah. We've been, the old rubber raft that we have is about 27 years old.
The one that said Titanic on the side of it?
Yeah, I don't even think they would have used it for a lifeboat. But anyways, so we've been looking at boats. We've been trying to figure out how we were gonna come up with the money. And it's been kind of Billy's pet project, looking at these boats and so he took a chance on getting a grant, which I thought was kind of a shot in the dark, but it actually worked out for us. And
Excellent.
I'm going to let the assistant chief tell you about the grant.
So we started this like in 2023 to try to figure out how to replace this rubber raft we have. Mostly because after COVID, the lake, the usage of the lake, that's like went sky high.
Sure has.
Sky high.
Sure has.
I mean, there's everything from paddle boards to water skiers, and there's also people hiking all over the place. And everything we've gone out there for has been serious. Heart attacks, drownings, broken hips, serious stuff. And we don't have any way of transporting enough medical people, and we don't have a way of transporting that person back to an ambulance with this boat. So basically all we can do is get a ride there and just wait for somebody to show up, which has usually been one of Pedersen's pontoon boats, which takes a minute. So it's been my pet peeve to get rid of that and make something better. So we talked at an officers meeting a couple of years ago about a different type of craft that Sea-Doo makes. It's also a pontoon boat, but it's a lot smaller and a lot more suited for these rural type lakes. For example, you don't need a boat launch to launch it. You can launch it right off to the side, whatever. You need 18 inches of water to launch it. So it's a little different than a boat. No prop, which is a great thing. No outboard motor. It's a Sea-Doo motor. It's a composite hull, so rocks won't hurt it. It may scratch it, but it's not gonna dent it or break it like fiberglass. So we've been looking at those, but they were pretty pricey. And this past year, I had my eye on a couple of 2024 leftovers at different places. One was in Worcester, one was in Alton Bay. And the price was a lot lower, like $5,000 from the new year, just like a car. They give you a deal if you take their leftovers off their hand. So one guy wouldn't sell it to me. He wanted to keep it the way it was and sell it. He thought he could get the money for it, so fine. The other guy said, yeah, he'd work with us because it comes with a bunch of stuff on it that we don't need, different seats and coolers and suntan stuff we don't need. All I wanted
No
was a
coolers, huh?
flat deck. No, we'll get our own. Flat deck and a couple seats, and that's all we need. We need deck space. So this boat is 13 foot long, which is good for towing abilities too for us. Comes with a trailer. And it was about $5,000 less than a 2025. So I found this foundation that works mostly with volunteers. So I did it through the association, which is all volunteers. So it wouldn't have a municipal overtone to it. And we talked about that. We thought that would be the best way to do it. And it's through the Gary Sinise Foundation, who is
Yeah, very active.
Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan, yeah.
Yeah, on Forrest Gump. And I put this in on the 2nd of February, and they called me on the 10th and said, we got it 100%.
Okay.
So, and that 100% grant amounted to $29,847.
Wow.
So we were gonna try to, between a combination of our association money, and we were gonna come to the town too and use some money out of the capital fund to do this, to put it all together. And we'd actually voted the other night to okay that through the association, and we had talked about getting the extra money out of the capital fund, and now we don't need to do any of that. So what they'll do is, I'm working on it right now, there's some paperwork to fill out, they'll send a check right to the dealer, and it's a done deal.
Well, how much is the boat?
29,800 and something,
All right.
Wow.
with a trailer,
100%.
With a trailer?
Or
100%. Which I was quite surprised. It took 8 days. Pretty unheard of.
You know, he's gonna want his new stuff on the lot here in the next 2 months, so. You know, we're gonna- Well, no, so do you just need an okay from us? I mean, that's a pretty good deal.
Yes, it's a good deal. It costs the taxpayers
Okay.
anything.
Yeah, okay.
So Scott, do we need a motion on this or just
I think,
general agreement or?
unless anyone objects, I think general consent and, you know, then the town will insure it.
And a job well done.
So what we'll do is like we did with the snowmobile type thing, we'll just, association will buy it and then we'll turn it over to the town. Same process.
Okay.
And that thing, I imagine we'll try to auction it off like we did the truck, the
If you can.
brush truck, if we can.
If we do as well on that as we did.
If
that
we,
brush
yeah,
truck.
we'll be okay.
You have to advertise it as a seals only vehicle.
Well, you know, there's not a lot of hours on that
Now
boat.
it's brand new.
And, but, you know, it's one of the old 2-cycle motors. Nobody really wants to do cycle
Yeah,
motors.
except some old fishermen maybe.
Don't point at me.
I need a
You don't
fishing-
fish,
I have it serviced every year. I mean,
I need a fishing boat. I just don't have any time.
so,
That'd be perfect for that. Certainly can't water ski behind it.
So you just put it up for sale, just the other one up for sale? Is that what you do?
auction.
Yeah, auction.
Oh, auction, okay.
We did really well with our brush truck.
Yeah.
I figured if we got 1,500 for it, we'd be doing good with the brush truck. We ended up with
92.
Yeah, 92, yeah. 9,200.
And you've got, hopefully the person has never come back.
No, he's got it for sale for 12.
Yeah.
12.5.
As is.
We pushed it on the flatbed to get.
Was that one up to me?
Yeah.
Do really well with the auctions.
As long as it's far enough away, you know. the
That's
wind
our
isn't
thought,
bad.
yeah. Maine isn't even far enough.
This wouldn't be bad. You could actually use this local.
Outstanding. Thank you.
Yeah.
But gentlemen, that's a go. That's a go. That's very well done.
So hopefully it'll be all done in a week. Yep.
Very well
Thank
done.
you.
Now, where will the boat be kept?
At the fire station.
Yeah.
You have room for it in the?
Yeah, just fit in the same spot.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
It's a little bit bigger, but no big deal.
all right. Hey, that's great. I thank you for doing that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's called a.
We're pretty
Sea-Doo-
happy.
Sea-Doo switch,
Switch, yeah.
and you can actually, it's almost like Legos, you can actually pull the seats and put anywhere you want.
Is it the new like Sea-Doo like jet ski boat, one of those ones where the
It
controls,
is,
yep.
That's what it is.
So you can get into all kinds of shallow water.
So it doesn't have a steering wheel, it actually steers like a jet ski.
Yeah.
As it-
No, I don't have a copy
Might be
of
more
that.
user friendly.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's gonna be good. You know, it's like with the snowmobile. Some years we use it all the time. Some years, depending on the weather and everything.
Depends on
you know.
people, yeah.
Like last year, I believe we used it, the boat 7 times. And 7 calls last summer.
You did, 7, okay, all right.
And
Between
do
here
all,
and
you-
Somerset,
Oh, all right.
there's that big lake too.
And that's another thing too, is that rubber raft on Somerset, the way that changes. Quite often you can be out there and all of a sudden the weather changes. It's not the best thing to have on that
No.
lake.
Wind always blows up there.
and the new Vermont law that all boat drivers have to have the certification,
Yes,
all your
Yeah,
firefighters
they
will
have
have to
boat
get that.
safety, yep.
Yep,
yeah, we were all certified, us old guys, years ago. We're actually working on a program now where people are coming in. You can do it online.
Yeah.
And we got.
if you're of a certain age, do not have to take the test.
Well, we didn't have to, because we were that age, but we actually did
Yeah,
do
we
it
did.
Is
years
it still
ago.
gasoline or electric?
What's that?
The Sea-Doo.
It's gas.
Gas.
Yeah, so as far as the 4-wheelers and the snowmobiles and the boats, we're working on a program right now where they can come in and do it online. And I mean, we pay for it. It's not that cheap to do it online.
Is that a state rule?
Yeah,
So the state collects the money?
of course they do.
I'm shocked.
I actually think it's a federal law.
It is,
Yeah.
they have to have.
If the game warden's out there and they check, you don't have that.
Yep.
You can actually take it.
Or if they have a collision,
Yep.
you're liable for it.
And Mark won't rent a boat unless you can prove that you took the test. Okay. That's it for me.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yep.
Good job.
We'll try it for a fire truck next, but I don't know if it'll work.
Yeah, the cost of those trucks
Oh my
is just
God.
phenomenal. Crazy.
You know, if you don't, I mean, that's the whole idea behind grants. If you don't ask, you're never gonna get it, so.
Give it a shot.
Good deal. Excellent.
I wasn't gonna put in for the whole thing. I was just gonna try to split it. And I just talked myself out of it. Said, well, if we
Good
don't get it, we
decision.
don't get it.
That's fantastic.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thanks, gentlemen. Right, select board members, comments. Tony? Good. All right, Vince? Vincent?
Nothing.
No? Charlie, anything?
I just had a question. What's happening with, didn't select board maybe last year approve an ordinance for vacant buildings? What's happening with that ordinance?
It's in effect.
And people are being fined? or
It's
no?
actually not a vacant building. It's for buildings, I think we had to narrow it down to whether or not it was a safety violation.
It's
We
health-
haven't done it.
It's health related and currently there's a lot of notices of violation going out, but that's not one of them, but they are being discussed with some of those buildings. And some of those buildings are under DRB permitting. However, my understanding is there's an ongoing conversation going back and forth between the zoning administrator and legal. And so I would like to see a resolution to that. It's a little bit unwieldy the way it is currently. So that's something that we're working on.
But there's one other thing in the pipeline. Town of Brattleboro has now, they're waiting for their third reading of a vacant building, vacant property ordinance. And what the ordinance is going to do is start fining you, you're going to be in a separate tax bracket. And each year it's going to increase as you do not do anything with your building. All right, now, how legal it is, we don't know yet. However, I have asked I have asked to get a copy of this, and of course, they haven't released it yet because it hasn't been approved. But they have the same problem that we do, but we do have to do something
Okay.
about it.
Yeah, I was just
All right.
asking that property next to me, it looks like a safety concern during the last
Oh,
storm.
it looks as though
I am not
it looks like the
sure.
porch is gonna cave in.
I am,
Yeah, and the tree behind this, the last storm got a little bit of a,
I'm not sure if that one is actually included. I'd have to double check.
Anyway, so yes, that is a,
67.
No, I know which one it is.
Oh, okay, yeah. If you see it burning, just walk away. Wasn't me.
Yeah, just a correction, so the ordinance went into place prior to just previous.
We have it in legal and there's an ongoing discussion on how to simplify, to apply it and simplify what is required. But it's something now, it's back on my radar. Thank you.
Thank you.
and I also have our building across the way here. Lenny tells me he's been trying to buy it from the current owner. I'm not sure whether he's ever gotten back to him on the other. I know he was very frustrated. At first, there was an indicator that perhaps he would, but then it kind of all stalled. And I really don't know why.
There may be another plan in play.
Yeah.
Do you have another one in the pipeline, do you? Okay, all right. I just throw that out because there is a way we can kind of move forward with some of these things, but it doesn't seem we're getting a lot of agreements. That's why that ordinance is so important. Because if all of a sudden you're getting somebody's pocketbook, they're gonna make the decision what they're gonna do. I have nothing, Scott. I'm sorry, John?
Well, given that Scott reminded me, this is my last meeting on the select board.
Unless we have a special meeting, John.
Well, unless we have a special meeting, which usually are 8:15 in the morning or 6:15 my time, but but I just want to thank everybody. I've really enjoyed being on the select board. I wish I could stay on it, but Krista and I are shifting our residency to Wyoming. That does not mean we're selling our house or anything like that. We will still be there, but I really have appreciated working with everybody who's been on the select board since I've been on it. I served 10 years. I actually enjoyed it much more than being in the legislature. Well, no, because you're working on things that impact residents day in, day out, being on the select board. That was not the case with respect to the legislature. You worked on a lot of things that I sometimes struggled to understand how they would impact the people I represented. But that's not true at the select board. The folks that work for the town of Wilmington are wonderful people. Everyone I work with, I have enjoyed working with and respected the amount of effort that they put into their jobs. We're a really lucky town, I think. So thank you.
John, I want to thank you. You did an outstanding job on this board, and you are definitely going to be missed. Okay, to make no mistake about it. I think your legal background and whatever was very, very helpful, and the fact that you were in the legislature when you were, that helped us a great deal also. But it's going to be a different landscape without you, John. And I'll be very honest with you. It's maybe we're going to ask you to change state residence here again at some point. But I wish to thank you absolutely 100% for everything you've done.
Absolutely. Ditto.
And you know what? You can show up every other Tuesday for these meetings.
Bring Jessica Smith, I think. No, I don't want to get in trouble here, but but John, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. I'm very serious, very serious.
Please don't give up on all the other boards either.
Yeah.
No, hopefully, I think Scott said I could stay on DRB, and so hopefully I can participate in that. Because I enjoy that, and I think I help out there. So,
You're gonna come for the BCA as well?
Absolutely.
I don't think I can do that.
No, the BCA is not, that's not the attractive thing. But John, you still are receptive to, sitting on Wilmington Works and these other, okay.
Yes.
I just want to make sure we're clear on that. You said you wanted to. Right? And as you can see, everybody's lining up for those positions. In fact, there's a meeting Friday. I just saw that too. So.
Yep.
Okay.
Remember, the business competition is Thursday night at 5 p.m. at our house. So hopefully, see what happens. We might fill one of those empty buildings.
That would be nice.
Gretchen pointed out that you can zoom in.
That's true.
Right here.
Is there going to be a link?
Yes. If you go to the Wilmington Works website.
Okay, all right. I'll go to the meeting on Friday anyway to find out.
And
We can
enter
do
one of the
Okay.
finalists.
So at this point here, Scott, we're going to ask you for your updates.
John, yes, you will be missed. Thank you very much for hiring me, for your counsel, for your passion and your true interest in the town and well-being. But we will see you often, it sounds like. So enjoy your skiing. I want you to know that the wind has been very strong here, 60 miles an hour, I guess, here in Wilmington. And I think we've got our fill of winter this year. Not as many inches as you have, but quite a bit. You've heard me talk about the MERP program and the enhancements in efficiency and heat and cooling and that sort of thing. We're being required currently to hire a consultant for Memorial Hall to review the windows there. And that consultant is Paula Sagerman, and as a historic preservation consultant. The state has been notified that we will hire her. She was on their list and she has worked with Stevens and others in the area. She's familiar with, Gretchen says she's great and she's familiar with the building. And so we may use her on other activities on that building as well. Plowing, I want to just point out that John is correct. We have some outstanding department heads, and the plowing that has been done over this weekend and throughout the season has been exceptional. They had a lot to catch up with this weekend. I think they did an excellent job, but it's not without complaints. Every now and then I get a complaint about the noise. You remember the frequency in terms of how many storms we had in January, maybe 7 to 9, something like that. And yes, at nighttime, our construction vehicles that lift the snow and throw it over the bank do make noise, and there's nothing that we can do about that. And the beep beep sound is for safety, and they typically, even though our contract for the sidewalk plowing says they can start at between 11 and 7. They actually start many times at about 9 p.m. just to get a head start on it. So I know I sit on Castle Hill, so I know exactly when they're out. At any rate, I think everybody's doing an excellent job. It usually takes them 24 hours to 48 hours on a big cleanup like this. Remember the Gallup pitch 75 acres? Those parcels have been sold. We completed that sale about a week or so ago. The Solid Waste District had a meeting. Jessica and Marshall went to it recently, and there was some discussion about, and Jessica, you can pitch in if you want. There was some discussion about towns banding together to look for more cost-effective transfer station type things. We are in the middle of a contract right now, and so we're unlikely to join them, but we are interested to see where that goes. And we're also interested in doing some research with regard to how we handle transfer station, whether or not we can actually sub that out or not, and whether or not that would be cost effective to us. It is sometimes a challenge, although I'm getting a lot of positive feedback in terms of the condition of the transfer station. They did a lot of work up there to enhance efficiencies the last couple of years under Marshall's oversight. And I think generally that's working well. The Lake Raponda Dam, my last item here is the Lake Raponda Dam. And MSK are our engineers out of Bennington, and they anticipate having a draft for our operation and maintenance plan, along with conceptual figures and details for repairs and overtopping protection, including permit requirements of the dam by mid to late March, including the O&M plan and a preliminary opinion of costs for completing the recommended repairs and improvements. This is as a result of inspections that the state has stepped up and lowered our rating from, I forget, I don't have it written down what the actual, what they call the condition, but it's of concern. It's of concern to our insurance company, Vermont League of Cities and Towns. This is something we started before the insurance company got concerned. We began this process because we've had this dam since what, the 1980s, I think we decided.
1992.
1992. We took it in a tax sale. Thank you very much. And it is ours. At any rate, in order to continue with the insurance, we have to show progress and improvement on repair and maintaining that dam. That's all I have.
And next time a volcano that comes up, you know, well, let's take that too, you know.
Maybe a ski mountain.
Oh, yeah, well, we have to believe a lot anyway. Anyway, that's okay. So folks, if there's nothing else for the good of Wilmington, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to adjourn. All those
Thanks
in
again,
favor say-
John.
all those in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye. John, once again, thank you.
Thank you, John.
Ladies, nice to see you
Don't
both.
be a stranger, John.
Thank you, John.
I'll be around. Bye.
Signatures.